Okay, so I now have all of the pieces milled up for the actual frame of the putting green. But what I need to do now is I actually need to route a groove in the inside of the two side pieces that's matching, that I can slide a piece of MDF into, which will give me the little run up to the hole, and then I can actually drill the hole and everything in that as well. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to actually make a jig out of MDF. And the jig is for my router. And in my router, I have a template guide bit. So essentially this collet here is going to act as a bearing. And then I have a bit in the inside that is the right thickness for the MDF that I'm going to be using. So that's something I need to take into account when making my template. And I need to remember that I need to offset my template down the distance from the middle of the bit to the outside of this little collet. So that didn't go to plan at all. I ruined two pieces. I don't know if you can see how bad that looks. Hopefully that's in focus. This one's not too bad. I just went off course. But this one is horrible. I don't know if it's my router or the router bits. Honestly, it's a cheap router. The router bits are the cheapest router bits you could ever find, and I'd say that's probably the biggest thing. I got frustrated and left the shop, and then it occurred to me that behind you right now is a CNC, and I can use the CNC to my advantage to replace what I couldn't do here. Okay, so we've got the entire green glued up together. Added these splines with the biscuit joiner. If you want to see a more detailed video on that, you can click up here. That is the video that I put out last week. Now, I've been trying to wrap my mind around what I don't like about this, and I realized that I hate that these parts actually stick up so much further along here. So what I'm going to actually do is take 2 router bits, a thin router bit, hopefully that'll pick up on camera. Let me try and focus that. And a thick router bit. There we go. So I've got a thin router bit and a thick router bit. They're not that much different, but enough of a difference where I can take the bigger bearing off this one and replace it on this one. And what that's going to do is the router will run along the bigger bearing, but cut on the smaller shaft. So essentially it's going to give me an offset from the outside of this bearing to the outside of this shaft, just leaving me with a very small lip on the edge of here. So putting green is done. To be completely honest, I'm not 100% happy with it. Not happy with how it turned out, really. I mean, you've got the grass for the putting green, you've got the hole. That's all you really need to practice, and in that sense, I guess it works. But to me, I kind of consider this a fail. It didn't work out the best of how I wanted to. I ran into some problems along the way. I'm not happy with how the edge looks. The router that I had failed, all that sort of stuff, and I'm honestly just not really happy with it. But I do have an idea for a sort of putting green 2.0 that I'm going to make eventually in the near future. So be sure to hit that subscribe button if you do want to see that. But I mean, it works. It's a putting green. It's there to practice, and it's going to help to practice. But I think that the new one will be a lot better. So, yeah, it is what it is, and I'll see you next time.